Truth is subjectivity. With these words, the philosopher Kierkegaard responded to a profound crisis of the 19th century, a dark chapter in the history when the very foundation of human existence seemed to crumble. Humanity found itself adrift, with every point of reference lost in a sea of solitude. Metaphysics dissolved the individual into the system, science was consumed by progress, and God is dead, as Nietzsche claims it. In this video, we will first uncover the roots of this dark chapter in history, and then we will see how Kierkegaard attempted to face the profound nihilism of his time. Hello everyone, I'm Ivan, a PhD fellow at the University of Freiburg in Germany and the founder of Empyreon Academy. The 19th century was a turning point in history, marked by deep crises in multiple dimensions, economical and social changes. This century saw the rapid rise of the capitalism, spurred by the first and the second industrial revolutions. Traditional social structures were dismantled, and the gap between poverty and wealth widened dramatically. These tensions would inspire the philosopher and the economist Karl Marx to write his Das Kapital. Cultural and literary alienation. Literature reflected the loss of the moral and religious certainties, with themes of solitude, alienation, and decay taking center stage. A general sense of pessimism, decadence, and social crisis emerged in the works of authors such as Flaubert and Dickens. Scientific revolution. A groundbreaking text disrupted the social order and profoundly influenced the following century. I'm talking about Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. Darwinism not only challenged the biblical accounts of the humanity's origin, but also questioned humanity's central role in the universe. And philosophical discontent. Philosophy faced a great crisis in metaphysics, considered until now the most fundamental science. This emerged particularly in German systems. Humanity felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction and nullification within these systems, which tried to deduce everything from a single principle. In this perspective, the task of philosophy became the simple exposition of the system. Against this totalizing perspective, Kierkegaard proposed an experimental philosophy that broke with systematic approaches. By the way, this is just a brief introduction to Kierkegaard and his critique of metaphysics. If you are interested in learning more, we are organizing a course on the decline of metaphysics, featuring 4 PhD candidates discussing 4 philosophers: Kant, Kierkegaard, Nietzsche, and Heidegger. Write to us and download the free handouts via the link in the description. Kierkegaard's idea, the truth is subjectivity, stands in sharp contrast to the philosophical trends of his time, particularly the Hegelian emphasis on objective systems. For Kierkegaard, the pursuit of truth is not a detached intellectual exercise, but rather a personal journey. Truth, in this sense, is not merely a set of objective facts, but something that resonates deeply within the individual and transforms his existence. When Kierkegaard speaks of subjectivity, he is actually referring to our deeply personal human experience. It is not the denial of the objective truths, but rather an insistence that the most important truth cannot be adequately expressed or grasped through detached analysis. These truths require commitment, passion, and personal appropriation. Kierkegaard often uses faith as the ultimate example of subjective truth. Faith, according to him, is not based on empirical evidence or rational proof. It is a leap that defies the logical constraints of objective reasoning. This leap is profoundly individual, requiring the person to confront the uncertainty and embrace it with passion. The idea of subjectivity is closely tied to Kierkegaard's understanding of freedom. To live subjectively is to live authentically, taking responsibility for one's choices and embracing the full weight of freedom. This often leads to existential anxiety, a recurring theme in Kierkegaard's thought, but it's also the gateway to a meaningful life. Kierkegaard's assertion that existence precedes essence lays a foundational cornerstone for the existential philosophy. While this phrase is often attributed to the later thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Its roots can be traced to Kierkegaard's critique of abstract systems that prioritize universal concepts over the lived reality of the individual. For Kierkegaard, essence, the idea of what something is, cannot define and determine human existence. Instead, it is through living and choosing that the individuals create their own essence. By emphasizing the existence before essence, Kierkegaard challenges the deterministic frameworks. The reason is that these frameworks attempt to define human meaning and purpose through external systems, such as metaphysical, theological, or scientific. He rejects the idea that a person's identity or destiny is preordained. Instead, the individuals are free, but also bound, to define themselves through their actions and decisions. Central to Kierkegaard's idea is the notion of radical freedom. Unlike systems that constrain human beings within predefined roles or identities, Kierkegaard insists that individuals are responsible for creating their own paths. This freedom, however, is not without consequence. It entails profound responsibility and often leads to existential anxiety. This anxiety is not something to be avoided, but rather embraced as a price to pay for authentic existence. For Kierkegaard, existence is a process of becoming. Individuals do not start with a fixed essence or purpose. Instead, they continuously shape their identity through their choices. This dynamic view of human life contrasts sharply with the static and abstract approaches of traditional metaphysics, where essence is seen as given. Finally, the last important point about Kierkegaard, as we already partially anticipated, is the role of faith. We saw that freedom and responsibility are central in Kierkegaard's thought. The same importance has the faith, which is deeply tied to our existence. In Kierkegaard's view, the ultimate act of creating essence is the leap of faith, a personal commitment to the divine that transcends reason and objective certainty. This leap represents the culmination of existence, where the individual moves beyond the self-definition to embrace a higher transcendent purpose. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Ivan, and this is Empyreon, the Academy of Philosophy and Fine Arts.